Hey guys, there is a small update at the end of the video. Check the comments for the timestamp for the update. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents they made my sister getting pregnant ruin my life? She's 23 female, I'm 18 female. Grandma died 8 years ago, and she left more than enough money to pay for all her grandkids' colleges educations with a few stipulations. Don't get arrested, do drugs, be a drunk, get pregnant, get someone else pregnant. The money was put into accounts in the parents' names since we were all kids then. In sophomore year my sister got pregnant. She hit the fan panicking about college. The baby daddy left and she hasn't tried to find him get child support. And the stress from that caused a hard complicated pregnancy. Both are okay. Mom dad still let her go to college as long as she didn't have another and maintained a 3.5 GPA, which she did. She graduated last December with about $2,000 in debt. I figured her money must have been used to help raise her kid and pay for her pregnancy the past 2.5 years, so she had to get a bit of a loan, which seemed understandable. Boy, I was wrong. I got accepted to my dream college on the other side of the state, but mom kept trying to get me to go to a cheaper one near home so I don't need a dorm and it would be a cheaper school. I asked her why she was so insistent. Grandma left plenty of money, I thought. Turns out, they flushed all the money that was supposed to go to me down the toilet to take care of my sister and her kid and her expensive pregnancy. Turns out was a lot worse than I was led to believe. I broke down and just lost it, crying harder than I ever have. Shouting how they ducked me over and ruined my life for the kid that ducked up. Now I'll have at least 70k debt if I go to school. I guess this upset my sister and she asked in a very upset tone if I'd rather her be out on the streets destitute and unable to care for her kid, who she reminded me was a living being, because she didn't have an education support system, just so I could go on to college and have a good life. I said yes. How it's not fair that she got to duck up, get drunk and sleep with so many guys she doesn't know who the baby daddy is. Something she told me but apparently not mom or dad. Kept breaking rule after rule while I haven't ever even had sex with my BF. And now I'm the one that has to be punished for it. Everything just kept devolving into more yelling, fighting until I left. I've been staying with my BF for the past few days. I know with the COVID I shouldn't go anywhere, but I just wanted to be with the one person I feel like actually gives a damn about me. Mom's been texting, calling, trying to get me to come home, saying if I can just be reasonable and not vilify my sister we can probably work something out. I told her unless she has money grandma left for me, don't talk to me until I have my college loans paid off in 50 years. Did I go too far? A lot of it was driven by emotion, but I really feel ducked over here and like I'm being punished despite being the one that followed the rules. I've since slept with my BF. I figure if I'm getting punished same as if I would have broken all the rules, I can at least have fun. Not the a-hole. You may be able to sue your parents to get that money back. If grandma's will was that specific about what the money could be used for, then your parents misappropriated your funds. Your parents need to come up with that money. Also, make sure you're using birth control. This is why money left for any minor's benefit should be put in a trust with parents having no access at all, as well as the trustee being the one to verify requirements are met for receiving said money. I totally agree. My sister and I had college funds when we were little, but my dad used it for business and basically squandered it all. Flash forward 20 years and we still haven't got a single penny back. My husband's father did that to him after mom died. There's just something incredibly evil and selfish about taking money that your dead wife left for your only child's education and blowing it all. NTA, you have every right to be upset. If that was a stipulation of your grandmother's money, then your sister definitely should not have gotten the ride that she did. Your parents should have done something out of their own money if they wanted to, but they should not have put your education and livelihood in the mix. If you have any proof or anything that is exactly what your grandmother wanted you to do, and those are the stipulations on getting said money, then I can get that proof and I start figuring out if you're going to take legal action. I wouldn't have any idea where to start, but your parents most definitely screwed you over and are definitely assholes. Your parents should have done something out of their own money if they wanted to. They didn't have the money, which I'm guessing is why they did what they did, but still that doesn't make it okay to me. Us kids all did get a copy of her will and it spells out what we are to do to get the money. Maybe I should see if any lawyers around here have free first consultations. Please do. You're 100% NTA. The guidelines and rules were spelled out. Only disregarded them since you have a copy of the will. You can prove what happened, and honestly your parents should be the one to take on any debt because they used money left for you for your sister, which isn't fair. Yeah, BF said he'll help me look for one after virtual school today. Do it. My blood is boiling for you right now. I can't imagine how much pressure and stress you're under. Not to mention that if you knew about this early on you could have gotten a job and tried to save at least a little over the past few years. But since you have written proof that your college was supposed to be paid for, you spend your time studying, like you should. Thanks for the support. NTA, that was your money. If Granny left part of that for you, and they had no right, I can't believe they aren't even somewhat apologetic. Sounds like you are living with some narcissistic people. Even worse that they think you should have to be perfectly calm after something so heinous. Your parents lied by omission about the money when they could have been honest about the circumstances, which would have given you time to prepare and save. I am sorry OP, trust and communication is everything. They broke the #1 basic requirement for a healthy relationship. I would work my ass off at a more affordable school, the debt isn't worth it, and keep a communication as needed relationship until they show some humility. Sister included, if she can't even express empathy for your situation, she seems to expect grace for her own struggle when she is partially responsible for her predicament and you aren't remotely to blame for yours, and her response is a guilt trip. She didn't steal the money, but the attitude is foreign to me. Yikes. NTA, threatened to sue them for the money. That sounds like fraud. Your parents and sister should pay you back without it going to court and you should let them settle. But if they don't, your parents should cough up. They didn't even discuss it with you. It is a terrible thing to steal from your own child, and that is what they did. You aren't being over dramatic. On the plus side, you now know that you can't trust your parents with finances, but you should talk to them about making practical arrangements to pay you back. Also document this for your other siblings. Do they have any funds left? No other siblings, and I'm guessing since sis had to take out a small loan for her last semester they don't have any funds left. Mom and dad were never particularly well off. I am so outraged on your behalf. Particularly because they let you apply to your dream college when they knew the funds weren't there. They let you get your hopes up and then crushed them. You are so NTA. I hope you can move past this eventually for your own peace of mind and mental well-being, but I know it will take some time. Duck anyone who says the sister is not the asshole. She knew as well as you did that your parents were not well off, therefore the money had to come from somewhere, and I see you said in a previous comment that they told her not to tell you. She knew. That means they all intentionally screwed you, and people have the audacity to question your response. Your sister as well as your parents made their choice. Now you get to make yours. Get your goddamn money back. NTA. NTA, there are paths you could take to get the money back if you want. The first, after discussing this with my brother who is a lawyer, he said you could sue your parents for the money depending on what was said in your grandma's will regarding the use of the money. He does not advise this, but it is a choice. Another choice is get parent plus loans for college. The loans will be in your parents' name social, so it is their liability. This is obviously something to be discussed with your parents, but it could be a decent solution given they used your education fund. I would recommend you could pay back a small amount of the loan and they pay back most of it. NTA, I'm surprised though that your parents didn't spend the last 6 years tempering your expectations about what would happen to you post-graduation. Why keep up the pretense that you would be getting anything? They knew the money wouldn't be there. Also, funds like that are usually held in trust to be disbursed by the executor in accordance with the will. I don't see how your parents got access prior to that date unless one of them was the executor or they lied to the executor. Either way, that sounds criminal. I'm not a lawyer, but this armchair is very comfortable. It sounds like they spent her money and yours. Why keep up the pretense that you would be getting anything? They knew that was the main reason I was being the good kid, so I'm a bit worried they may have been keeping me in the dark to make sure I wouldn't end up like her while still in high school. Still, I wonder why they had to spend her money and yours. It sounds like they had access to both and it must have been in excess of $200k. That's an expensive baby if they needed all of it. I guess what I'm saying is that your parents have really been splashing out with both of your accounts. And your cousins have a complaint here too, assuming that your sister's money would have been divided between all the other grandkids. No, each set of parents got the account for all their kids, at least that's what we kids were told. NTA. I don't understand how parents can do that. Sure, parents should always try to help their kids, but that's like help with BC, abortion, adoption, or a way to get the kid money. Even if they do give the kid money, the kid should be expected to pay back, and not just fuck off. It should especially not give away or lend money that isn't theirs. They basically let off her scot-free and with a car. I get she has a kid, but she also has to suffer the consequences of her actions. She will never learn. Knowing mom it won't happen, she thinks it's sexist for single moms to have to do any suffering while the dads get off free. While your mom isn't wrong in that respect, the solution wasn't for you to bear the consequences. It means that sister would need to line up all the likely candidates and get a paternity test done and go after him for child support. Another issue is, if OP wants to have a family, buy a house someday, she can't because she is going to be in debt up to her eyeballs for her sister's mistake. And sis doesn't seem to even want the kid. She wants her life back. How is she going to afford childcare? Oh, that's right, she will dump it at mom and dad's while she parties. And that is why mom really wants OP home babysitter. Edit. Been texting sis some this morning to try and mend stuff with her since I didn't think mom and dad spending the money was her fault. She was told about it after she graduated and was asked to keep me in the dark. She has offered to pay for a book or two but not more since she wants to move out to get out from under mom and dad's thumb. Probably to party again since she doesn't hide how much she misses it. Edit 2. There was a bit left after sis got done at college and was told about it all. They'd decide to use it to get her a car so she'd be able to get to work and she went along with it. Now I'm pissed at all three again. Edit 3. Emailed my copy of the will to the lawyer. He says due to how it was set up he can't be certain right now we have a case, but there's a good shot. Edit 4. Lawyer says they may have violated the trust grandma setup, so he's contacting a trust lawyer friend of his to help make sure he's reading it all right. Edit 5. Holy shit, so many edits, sorry. Auntie got back to me. She's mad at my parents when she called to see what was going on. All they did was, her words, try to justify it. Turns out dad and mom offered to pay for an abortion and sis didn't want one. Understandable, I wouldn't either, but still don't always get what we want. And sis thought going on government assistance was trashy and refused, so mom and dad felt like this was the only way to keep her safe. She says they still aren't sorry and mom said she'd do it again if she had to do it all over. And of course, as you might imagine, they're mad at me for telling people. But since it's just making others mad at them, I'm just laughing at this point.